All right, hopefully I am unmuted. I think I am. And am I sharing? Yes. Yes. Okay. I've never recorded in this room before, so this is a first time. Okay. Are you here for branching or you're here for homework? Okay, I'll try and go fast and then we'll help and then I'll help you. Okay, so you guys are here for branching. Okay, cool. Great. Huge audience. Okay, so branching. So this is what we're gonna do today. Classic. I have my Python meme. So I'm gonna go over really quickly what it like how I think about branching in my head, because a lot of coding, um, it's good to be able to connect. I mean, in any kind of science, when you're learning new topics, it's good to be able to connect them across a variety of different, like in different contexts when you're learning concepts. So I'm gonna just go over how I think about it, and then we're just gonna jump straight into it. Okay. I would make you guys answer these warm-up questions, but I feel bad because there's only two of you. So sure, give it a shot. Let's see, who can answer these. Oh, you actually want to? Yeah, we can answer them right now. Yes. Correct. No, no, no. Good. No, because it's just us. Okay. So, but yeah. Okay, that's correct. Okay, number two.
Oh, get add get command.
Correct. Perfect. Okay, and then last one. Yep, yep. We'll get it all into that today. Yeah. So when you first open up or you make a new repository, it throws you into a main branch or a master branch. So this statement is going to become very important to us for when we want to put things in different branches. So yeah. Okay. So this is me. Do I have a stick? Stick. Seems like I have okay, no stick. That's fine. Okay. There's a stick. All right. Just won't trip over my stuff. Okay, so branching. Um, Okay, so if you imagine each of these circles as one of your commits that show up on the internet, this is how you can think of branching. So basically you have this commit, and then basically you can make another branch, which basically has a different commit that's different than your master. So essentially you're making a copy, and then you're changing things. And then what we're not going to cover today is you can also merge these back in. But that's a whole nother lecture. People are interested, I can do one of those. I'm worried this can't hear me. Okay. But so this is how you think about branching. So yeah. So yeah, make copies. Yeah, okay. This will make more sense when we actually start branching, but yeah. Okay, so this is a lot of words, so I'm gonna go through it one by one. So we're gonna use all of these commands today. This is just so they're all in one place. So if you want to reference them, you can look here. It's already on the B courses, and it's also, well, Will has access to our Python decal staff folder. Okay, anyway, so get branch will become our basically command of the day. You can use it to make new branches. Get checkout is how you switch branches. And then you have every single time, we will learn this when we actually practice, but every single time you do something on a branch, you always want to save it to your remote repository, because Git does not know the difference between your current working directory and your branch. It does not understand. So if you switch branches and you haven't saved something, it'll follow you along. And you're like, oh no. So yes, always save before switching branches. But this will make more sense when we do it. Okay. Specifically for turning in homeworks, this is how I taught it with ULab. You want to delete everything inside of your branch before you start throwing stuff in there, because when you make a copy of main and you make a copy of it, it has everything inside. And the whole purpose of branching for Python decal and ULab is to submit homework separately, so you need to delete everything inside. But as you see with my big red all caps warning with 2 exclamation marks, this is a very dangerous command. I literally had someone run this on their computer and delete like their entire computer. So we're going to be very careful with this command. There's also easier ways to do it. So yeah, this is why I have a big warning all in red. Only use this if you absolutely understand what you're doing. Please be very careful. But you can also do one by one, which we'll do today. Okay, so yeah, careful, careful, careful. Don't run that unless you absolutely have to. Cool. Okay. Today we're going to learn how to connect branches. That might seem really abstract, but basically, when you have, like Brianna repo, we'll have a branch on the internet repository that you don't yet have access to on your computer. So we have to do something called connecting them. So we'll go through that today. And then these are just some commands to call when you just want to like figure out what's going on inside of your repository. Okay, this is just supposed to be a really brief crash course, and then I'll go into examples. We will also see this today. So there's a difference between local branches and remote tracking. This has to go back with connecting the branches, as I just mentioned. So main, this is what my repository looks like. So main will be what it looks like when you're on this branch, it'll be highlighted in green. And then this means it is on the internet version. And this means it's on your local version. So if you see, I have origin main and extra credit, and both are here. So that means they're perfectly synced up. That's confusing. Don't worry. It'll make, I keep saying that, but that's how I always feel with demos and coding. I'm like, just code in front of me. Don't show me slides. So, but these are for reference. Okay. Get fetch. We'll learn what that does. Get pull. These are basically two ways to update your repository. If you have had practice with get pull already, we're going to learn a new one called get fetch. They're very, very, very similar. They just have slightly different applications, but you're welcome to read this, but really this is just for reference. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to jump straight into the demo. So let's branch. Okay. So please have a terminal open, and I need to get out of this. Okay. We'll just close that for now. Alrighty. I'm going to open up a terminal. Oh, wrong direction. Okay. There we go. I'm going to make it nice and big. Okay. Can people in the back see? I always ask that question, but you're right there. Cool. If you still can't see, just let me know. Okay. Cool. All right. So this is what your there's my mouse. This is what your terminal will look like when it's fresh, it's new, you just opened it, there's nothing on there. If we recall, what does that little tilde mean? Do we remember? Yes, perfect. It's your home directory. So it means I'm in my default. I just opened up and it throws me to wherever my default is. You can change that. But we're not going to worry about that today. Okay, so I am going to cd into Python decal because that is in my home repository. Python, oh my gosh, okay. Python decal, cool. So now I'm going to call ls. All right, so this is all the stuff I currently have in my repository. So you will notice this test folder. You don't have that. That was me playing around with stuff, so just ignore that. But you should have your very own repository with your name decal. You should have one for me. That's the one where you can't edit it. You can only pull updates. And then you should have some extra little files that we played around with during the first couple weeks of class. Okay, also stop me at any point with questions because it's just YouTube. So you're more than welcome. All right, so now I'm going to cd into Brianna repo. Cool. All right, so actually that's wrong. I'm going to cd into Brianna decal. My bad. Cool. So now I am inside of my personal repository, and now I'm going to call get branch. Cool. So right now, if you call get branch, you're basically saying, hey, Python, hey, terminal, can you list all of my branches? Right now, we only have one. It's highlighted in green with a little asterisk, meaning that's the branch we're on. This should look familiar from when you call get, push, origin, main, or master. So yeah, so we have one branch right now. Then I can also call get branch -a, and this reveals all of my branches. So the main is my local branch, but remote is remote branch. So that is the ones on the internet. So I have one on my local computer and one on the internet. Hopefully that makes sense. You should have one of each because we have not branched yet. Cool. Okay, now yes. We will get to that. Yes, we will get to that. That's a great one. Okay, so now I'm going to call get branch test. Cool. And you're like, nothing happened. That's good. Nothing should happen. So now if I call get branch, we will now see main and we will now see test. It's not green. There's no asterisk, so we're not on that branch. You don't know how many times I've thought I've been on a branch and not been on it. So always call get branch. Sometimes if your computer's really special, it will tell you the branch you're on. I think Windows does that. That's nice. My Mac doesn't. So get branch to save the day. Cool. All right. So now I'm also going to call get branch -a. And we'll see now that we have a local a local, and then a remote. But there is no remote version of test yet. So it does not exist on the internet. We have to put it on the internet ourselves. Okay, so, and if I call get status, get status, then we will see that it tells us even what branch we're on, and we have no changes. It does not give us any updates about the branches themselves, so just keep that in mind. Cool. So you have two ways to debug when you're doing GitHub. The best commands to call. You have get status and you have get branch. These reveal, not that one, get status, get branch, reveal a lot of information about just what's going on and can help you diagnose, like, why isn't it working? Those two commands I found very helpful. Okay, so now let's go into the branch. So git checkout test. Awesome. So GitHub told me, yay, you switched to the test branch. That's exactly what I wanted. So then if I call git branch -a, I have now gone from main, which used to be in green. Now test is in green, and it still does not exist on my remote version. So still 2 local, 1 remote. I switched them. Cool. Okay. Now we are going to be very, 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 very careful. This is where my giant red warning sign should go. We're going to be very careful. Okay, so I'm going to call ls first. And I see all this wonderful stuff in my directory, but I don't want it there anymore. So what I'm going to call is make sure you're on the branch. Okay, are we both on the branch? Okay, here we go. Be very careful. Okay, rm-rf and then */. And then I'm going to hit enter. Cool. Now if I call ls, okay, maybe that's only for folders. We'll just call it, so this is practice for showing you how to delete individual files. So git rm-rf, and then we call test.py, and then rm-rf your mom.txt. Cool. And then if I ls, nothing's there. Rm is the remove command. It is the big delete command. It is even more powerful than a normal delete because asterisk. There is technically an undo button, but only if you're inside a GitHub repository. If you do this on your normal computer, there is no undo button. So very careful with that, but you can undo this, which I can show you right now. And then you can call */. Does anyone know what the star means on terminal? I haven't directly covered it. You haven't?
But I have a question.
Yes.
So if you remove our arm,
yeah.
So this will give you like error message. But
yeah, no, it's a common mistake. Terminal, you have to be so okay. I've told Will's probably heard this like 8 times by now. Your computer, when you code, is a tiny child. You need to tell it exactly how to do something, or it will not listen. It's very annoying, but it's also very practical because 99 of the times it's not your computer that's wrong, it's you. You made the mistake, which is unfortunate because I hate making mistakes, but you learn that as you code. Okay, so, but no mistakes are bad mistakes unless you delete your whole computer. That's a bad mistake. Okay, so nothing is in my directory or my repository. Are you on the same step now? Cool. All right, so now I am going to call get status and we're going to see a really cool message. Okay, a lot of the times I will say people will run into an error on Git and they will just shove an error message in my face and not have read the error message. This is a very common beginner thing. You see a lot of words and you're like, ah, but trust me, the error messages, they are written for a reason. So if you learn how to read them, you'll become a master at Git. So we're going to just work through one right now. This isn't an error message, but it's just details about the repository. Do you have a question? Yes. Oh, yes, I forgot. Yes, answer my question. Okay. Oh, here?
Yeah.
Oh, so actually, these asterisks are different, but that's a good point. This asterisk actually just means everything before that. Oh, so that's why it didn't work. Okay, because this makes sense now. So asterisk slash implies directory. Do you remember that? Okay. So then when I do slash, so I think if I didn't have the slash, it would delete everything. But because I put the slash, I'm like only direct or only directories inside of my repository. If I put a period, it would do files.
Oh,
Does that make sense? So asterisk basically is like everything before this. So if I put like, if I had like 1,000.py files and I put rm-rf star.py, it would delete all of them. Cool. It just takes practice. Okay, so I know this is a lot of information. Cool. So we call git status. This is telling us what's going on inside of a repository. It's like getting a checkup from the doctor. So what does it tell me? I'm on branch test, no longer main. Cool. Changes not staged for commit. That means I have not put them in the staging area. I've made the changes, but I've not saved the progress at all. Okay, now it tells me I can either call git add to put it in the staging area, or I can call git restore. Git restore is the undo button. I'm not going to call it now because it's a little redundant because I don't want to undelete them and then delete them. But if you ever delete something and you're like, oh no, just call git restore on it and it'll be back to your directory. So yes, only call rm when you're in a repository. Maybe question? Correct. Yes, you can call git restore period and it'll restore all of this. Just like git add period.
asterisk period or?
Just period. Yeah. I should look up the difference between asterisks and periods. That's a good question. I should know that. Okay, but yes. So those are the two different ways. And then right now it says no changes added to commit, which means basically I need to add stuff. Cool. Okay, so let's do that. This is what we should do. Okay, so actually, let's test something really quick. Don't do this on your computers, just watch me do it. I'm going to call git checkout main. And I forget exactly how it works, and I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. Okay, and then ls. Cool. Okay, so it looks like I'm on main. I called ls, which is supposed to tell me everything in main, and it's gone. No, it's all gone. That's a lie, because Git doesn't know the difference between your branch and your current working directory. So whatever your current working directory looks like, if you switch branches, it looks exactly the same. So in order to not confuse yourself, because you're like, where did it all go? You have to git add, git commit, git push anytime you're on a branch before you switch branches. Does that make sense? To avoid problems like this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to test.
But it's still there.
It's still there.
Okay.
It's still there. But it's basically acting like I deleted everything on main now. But we don't want that. But we can also undo. That's a beautiful thing about repositories is I haven't taught this explicitly, but basically I could go call git checkout and then there's a number attached to every single one of your git like commits that you can basically re-pull an old commit. So like let's say you were still on like homework 1 and you want to go back to what your repository looked like when you only had homework 1, you could go scroll back way through your commit history, call that number, and boom, you're back to that one. It's a beautiful thing about Git is you can undo as many times as you want. Okay, so back on test. Now we're gonna git add, git commit, and git push. So git add, git commit, and git, oh, sorry. I gave it no message. I think it's :Q. Like, I think it's this. It's like :Q exclamation mark. If not, I can come help you in a second. Okay, 1 second. Oh. Why is it mad at me? Okay. Sorry. Gotta diagnose a problem really quick. Okay. Changes. Okay. Git commit dash delete. Okay. I don't know why I didn't like that other message. Okay. Paul?
Yes.
Just Control C maybe? Okay. So colon. And exclamation. And enter. I don't know why it's that funky little message, but it is. Okay, so what time are we at? Okay, 1:30. So sorry. Okay, we're gonna keep going. All right, so and then I'm going to git push. Okay, this is another big warning. Git push origin blank. Okay, so this is another way to push and do the wrong stuff. So we can see this. We don't want to call main, which might be the default. You want to call get push origin test. Yes. Okay, get push origin test. Okay. Gotta type in my password. Yay. Okay, so then if I call get status, go into the checkup, go into the doctors. Cool. Says I'm perfectly healthy. I've saved everything. I'm on my test branch. Cool. So now, if I go, oh, where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Okay. If I go back to main, I call get checkout main. Haha. They're back. Okay. You comfy with that? Cool.
Yeah.
This is what it looked like, right? Files. Yeah, like where did these go? Where did tests go? Whatever, who cares? Doesn't matter. We can always recover it if needed. Just pretend whatever. I don't have time to debug it right now. Okay, but that's how you branch. All the notes are on the slides. Cool. Okay. Now we're gonna do branching part 2. This is how you get branches from a branch or a repository that you don't own. So, which one would that be?
So,
You're so good. Okay, I said that really fast. So, we own this directory. What directory also exists in Python decal that you don't own? That you can't edit? Yes, Brianna repo. So, we're gonna call cd cd dot dot Brianna repo. Cool. ls. Beautiful. All right. So now I have uploaded a fun little thing for us. So I am going to call I was going to show you something else, but it doesn't matter. It was just basically how to add a file with branching, but it's the same steps as doing it when you don't branch. So if you want me to go over that at the end, I can, but it's the same thing. Okay, so this is the last chapter for today. I call it connecting branches. I don't actually know the proper term, but whatever. Okay, so we are in Brianna repo. We don't own this repository. We can't push to it, but we can update it. So I'm going to call get status. And I should see I'm on my main branch of Brianna repo, which we don't own. I have a different terminal that owns it, but not this one. It's up to date with origin main, meaning it's up to date with the remote version, and then nothing to commit, working tree clean. Good. We should never have anything ever to commit, ever. So we can't push it to the real version. Does that make sense? Question? Yes.
you literally not.
You want to? Yeah, I can show you. You want to try? Yeah. Okay. So let's do. This might mess things up, but it's worth it. Okay. So I'm gonna do nano test.txt test. Cool. Good. It might be connected actually to my SSH key on this. We'll see though. But you can also try it on yours. But if I call get push origin main. Yeah. Okay. So it is now asking, so I don't have my SSH keys connected. So now it's like, okay, give me your GitHub username, and I'll check to see if it's you. And you type it in, and then it's like, cool, give me your password, and then you type it in. But then GitHub's like, wait, I don't do passcode authentication anymore. So it's getting upset because you're not sharing the SSH key between your internet version and this version. So it'd be like if Will made a repository, but my SSH key isn't on Will's computer, so when I try to pull from it or try to edit stuff, it's like, it just gets confused. Does that help at all? Okay, so can't do anything about that. Okay. I don't want that anymore. So we're just gonna rm test.txt. Hopefully that solves our problem. It should. Let's call get status just to make sure. Okay, cool. So pretend that never happened, which we don't want it to. Okay, so now I'm gonna call a new command called get fetch origin. Cool. All right, so where's my cursor? Let me go back to what I wrote on this page. Okay, so Git fetch is for when you want to pull new branches. It is basically so you can avoid surprises and to avoid merge conflicts. That's a lot of words. I'm gonna explain what that is. Okay, so I just called git fetch origins. Git pull does not pull new branches. It doesn't, it only pulls inside of your branch. It doesn't understand what's happening in the rest of the repository. Only your branch. You have to call git fetch to get all of the forks of your tree. So now it tells me, hey, new branch, extra credit. Hence, it's the homework assignment is extra credit. So we're starting your homework assignment. Well, not Will, but Will, you can do it too. Cool. So that just unlocked a new branch for me. So now if I call git branch dash A, I see main, and I see remote, and I see remote main, and I see remote extra credit. So now I have 2 remote branches and I have 1 local one. Oh no, how are we supposed to access it? We have to call a different command. You have a question?
Okay.
Yes,
So, like version, the master, like the main's the master, right?
correct.
But now it's showing up as the main.
On Brianna, I think it should be main for me because I made it on a map.
This repo.
Correct. Yes. It's confusing. Git is very, very, very confusing, and it takes a lot of errors and banging your head against a wall for it to click it all. Okay. I sometimes still don't understand it. Okay, so now Will asked at the beginning, what does head mean? That is a great question. So if I go back to this, let's see, do I have it over here? Is it one of these? Here we go. Cool. Cool. Yeah, so here it is. So my local branches are these 2, and then I have my remote branches, and then what this is telling me, remote origin head pointing to origin main. That is where my default commit is. So that is where my default repository is. So if I go on to a repository and I have a million branches, but the first one that I see when I open up the website will be whatever head is. You can change this. We're not going to worry about that today. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Cool. So head is just telling you what the default one is.
and then it would change the name based on like what will be like.
Yeah. So like I just set it to be extra credit.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Yes. Question? Yes.
That one is what?
Oh, yes. I can go back to that. Okay. So in this one, this would be your default. This would be like the what did I say? The head. This is head. And then this would be like a branch that we made. Like this would be tests that we just made. And then if you go to master, let's say like I added some more files and then I branched again. Then this branch would see these files, but this branch wouldn't because I did this earlier in my timeline. Yes. Good. Good. Keep the questions coming. Okay, so that is branching. Couple more commands and then I will stop torturing you. Okay, so Brianna repo. Now we need to connect. So now I need to get this guy to show up here. So that is what this next command is going to do. So I am going to call, this is a long one, git checkout dash B, extra credit, and then credit, and then origin slash main. Cool. So I'm just gonna make sure I spelled it. Git checkout, extra credit, origin main. Cool. Yes. Okay. Great. So now Git has just told us what this command just did. So good. Branch extra credit set up to track origin main. So actually I don't know what set to track origin main means. I should figure that out. But switch to a new branch extra credit. So git checkout with switching branches. Basically I am calling this branch from, is this the right command? Hold on. I think it is. It should be. I did this earlier. Okay. Dash A. See, we're all learning still. A. Okay. And then ls. No. Okay. So I lied. We're going to do slightly different. Okay. This sucks for the people online because they're going to get really confused. Okay. We're going to change this to extra credit. Okay, that makes more sense. So I typed it down wrong in my notes. This is really confusing. I will post how to fix this. Or maybe I can just like make a quick update to my recording and put this in. Okay, so we're gonna go into, so I switched to extra credits. I have this new branch called extra credits. And it is tracking this branch. So now my remote repository and my local have a different name. As long as you keep that in mind, this still makes sense, but just gotta note that.
Say one more time.
Because of boo-boo I did, my local branch has an S, my remote branch doesn't.
Oh,
Because of
okay,
boo-boo I made.
okay.
So yeah,
But in general, you want the track.
same name.
Okay.
Same name so you don't confuse yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so, but now I just didn't get, branch A, and now I have, 3 local branches,
Yes, you should.
so.
Yes, you want to see? Yes, that you should have 3 because I made a boo-boo. I will try to explain my boo-boo, what I did wrong. Okay, so we have main. We also have extra credit, which is also main because I copied the wrong one. I told it to look at the wrong one. And then we have extra credits, which is actually extra credit.
So
This is like a whole brain teaser that I didn't mean to put on you guys.
So you copied main, but you called it extra credit.
Correct.
Okay.
Now we see how confusing coding can be. So when you look at other people, when you write code, make it easier for other people to understand. So if like I threw this repository at you, it would be so confusing. So I should fix that. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this. If they actually do, that's great. Okay. But this was a boo-boo. I will fix this in post. Okay, so but as long as we keep that in our heads, it'll be okay. All right, so now if I call ls, I see extracredit.txt. Great. This is the homework assignment. It is bonus. It is extra credit. If you do it, I will be so happy. Maybe I will, if you do it, you get, I don't know how many points extra credit, or I can like bring people cookies one day if they actually do it. But we can take a look inside. It's kind of hard. Branching is hard. You can ask Maria, right? I don't want to say it wrong. Okay, I feel like I never say your name. You can ask people in ULab. They hated it. Some people still don't understand how to branch. So it's okay. Branching is not fun. But here we go. You found it. You found it. I hit it. That's why it's called Goose Chase on B courses because you have to like go on a wild goose chase to find it. Okay. How do I let me go down? Yes. Okay. So basically all of this, you just read it. It's a lot of words, but we did this. We already did 1. 2, yeah, we'll just gotta follow these. It basically walks you through all of the steps. You just kind of have to think about how to move files around. Then it asks you a couple questions like what does the header mean, etc. And then pushing your things, and then I request 4 screenshots to make sure that you actually branched properly. Because with Git, it is really easy to cheat the system, but that doesn't help you in the long run. So that's why I require screenshots. But yeah, and then this is how you can make new branches for homeworks. So if you would want, I can show you how to make a homework branch if that helps. But yeah, that is the end of my little lecture. Cool. Okay, how are we? Okay.
Makes sense. Can I do it again? Probably not, but
It's
I'm just
okay.
gonna
It's
check the recording.
yeah, it's on the recording. Yeah, don't make that mistake.
Oh,
Yeah.
the real question is,
Yes.
why is this useful?
Yes. Okay, so really this is useful. Okay, do we want a fun example? Do you want to see my research?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that. Yes. Let's just show you an example. Okay, so this is the simulator I use. Mouse GitHub. Okay, so this is, you recognize this. This is repository. You've made one of these. This is someone's actual life project right here. Is this simulator? Like he gets paid to make this. I use this and I'm trying to write a paper with it. Cool. So he's amazing. He's great. Okay, so he has the master branch. This is head. This is default. He has tons of files, tons and tons and tons of files. I think I showed this to ULab at one point. Anyway, okay, so master. If I click, this shows me all the branches, and he has all of these different. Oh, he has even more. So many active. Oh, cool. So okay, so he has this many branches. So basically, what he did, if you think back to the diagram, he has master going across. And then he basically made a branch and was like, okay, I'm going to make these updates. And then he did something called merging, which is then he brought that back up into master. We did not do that today. I can teach that later. But that is more when you're working on big long-term projects, not really for the goals of the decal. But you can see master holds all of the default stuff basically. But then if we go to like GitHub pages, this will host, this is basically how he makes his website. So I don't know if it's linked here, but he has all of these files that if I go back to master, don't exist there. So basically it's a way to organize, your repository and just keep stuff in different places that you want to do different things. So this is the main simulator that you put your parameters into, you run, you get results, you get data out of, you try to think about it really hard and see if it makes sense. And then the GitHub website is where he keeps all of his like README stuff. And this is all done on one repository called MAOS, mouse. But he branches, and then one branch is just for this website. Literally just for this website. Like, yeah. Does that help a little bit?
Yeah, and then all like, when you go back to all the branches, there's like 2.8, 2.9. Are those like different versions of mouse?
Correct. Yep. Yep.
Okay, so they're each a different branch. So if you want to use like an older version, you just branch, copy that branch and use that version.
Yep.
Okay.
You can also, I haven't really talked about this much, but you can also do the commit history. So he has 207 commits. So that's how many times he's called git add, git commit, git push to the online website. So if I go to the commit history, remember I told you like, oh, there's that little number. Come on. There we go. Okay, so do you see this little thing right here? Is it too blurry? Okay, this is like a sequence of numbers. This was his like message. Like if you go into your remote repository, you'll see all this stuff. You can then call git checkout this number, like this number, and go back to that version. So there's a lot of different ways to use GitHub. You can use it for different reasons. You can use branching as a way. You can use forking. That's a whole nother thing. There's merging. That's nasty, but it's good. But this is really a way for how like big projects get done. Like not just like one page homework assignments, which like seem really daunting right now, but once you really get deep into coding where you're doing like millions of lines of code, this is how the professionals organize it. I would not call myself a professional because I do not have a repository that looks like that.
Okay.
So yeah, cool. Any other like concept questions? Does that help?
Yes.
Cool.
Like,
Errors? Or no, you're good. Okay.
the end of your like demo, we're on the extra credits branch.
Yes.
Do I need to do anything more? Like, am I good to close the terminal? Yeah. What's
Yeah, so I'm on extra credit. Yeah, so basically, for the rest of the decal, you won't need to worry about Brianna repo. That was just for learning how to use GitHub. Unless I can post more assignments on there. But essentially, you're welcome to just stay on extra credit. But if you want to go back to main, and you're also welcome to just close it right now, when you reopen your terminal, you'll just be like, if you close your computer and then let's say like I reopen a new window, I'll just be right back to my home directory. But then if I go to Python decal, Brianna repo, and I call git branch, I'm still on my extra credits because I never moved out of it.
so only Brianna repo on extra credits branch.
Correct. So if I go to Brianna decal, which will be, what's your name? Jordan. So if I go to CD and then I go to Brianna decal, and I call git branch, then two totally different things. It's two totally different projects. Think of them like two different websites. Two different websites controlling two different things. Okay, does that help? Cool. Branching is really mind-bending, but with time we can all learn. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then I'm going to call it here and I will answer your questions. I'm so sorry. Okay, cool. Hopefully that was helpful.
Because last time we checked, we were doing a game.
Yeah. What I've done is followed a tutorial, and this is not like what my part is going to be. I'm just going to learn coding.